All right, let's look at some more questions. These are on the other side of your paper or on page 2. So let's see what we have here. It says, Jolson Company has the following internal control procedures over cash receipts. Identify the internal control principle that is applicable to each procedure. Let's see, documentation, establishment of responsibility, human resources, internal independent verification, physical controls, or segregation of duties. So it looks like there's going to be one that we don't use because that was 6 items and we've got 5 scenarios. Okay, all over the cashier department supervisors. Okay, so um, we have, if you wanted to visualize this, we have a cashier who has made sales, conducted business transactions, but then we have another person who's going to verify um, that the amount of sales that we're showing in the register match the cash, credit card slips, all of these types of things. So this is someone within the company. This is an example of internal independent verification. Internal independent verification. Letter D, duties of receiving cash, recording cash, and having custody of cash are assigned to different individuals. So these are all related activities. And we say that segregation of duties means that different people are responsible for related activities. So this is an example of segregation or separation of duties. Letter E, only cashiers may operate cash registers. Okay, and you probably remember that this is establishment of responsibility. So we didn't have anything for documentation procedures, but that is also a control procedure. All right, let's take a look down here. This section might take a little bit longer. It says, the following control procedures are used in Keaton Company for over-the-counter cash receipts. List internal control weaknesses over cash receipts and suggest improvements. Okay, so number 1 says each store manager is responsible for interviewing applicants for cashier jobs, and that's probably not a problem. It says they are hired if they seem honest and trustworthy. Well, I don't know about you, but whenever I'm going in for a job interview, I try to be at my absolute best. So our weakness here would be, don't really have a ton of room, but weakness would be we don't have a background check going on here. They're hired if they seem honest and trustworthy. I also don't see anything about bonding. So that's another potential problem. Let's see here. Okay, so this is this is a human resource control. The question doesn't actually ask that, but it does ask for suggest improvements. Well, we need to perform, so the improvement would be to perform background checks and potentially bond cashiers. Okay. Number 2, it says all over-the-counter receipts are registered by 3 clerks who share a cash register with a single cash drawer. Wow. Okay. So we have, our weakness is we have no accountability here. If one of these 3 clerks decides to start taking cash receipts, they can blame it on somebody else, and then somebody else can blame it on the 3rd clerk, and so on and so forth. So that's a problem. It is a problem of establishment of responsibility. And then our improvement would be simply something like each cashier should have own register. Okay. All right, number 3, it says to minimize the risk of robbery, cash in excess of $100 is stored in an unlocked briefcase in the stockroom until it is deposited in the bank. Well, the fact that it's an unlocked briefcase is probably the least of our concerns here. But you know, the stock room may or may not be that easy to get into here, so we don't really have adequate protection of cash. Let's see here. Adequate protection of cash. That is our weakness. Okay? This is certainly related to a physical control, and then if we were going to improve this, our improvement would be to use a locked safe. Better physical control. 4, at the end of each day, total receipts are counted by the cashier on duty and reconciled to the cash register journal. Well, the weakness is that we have no independent verification of whatever this cashier says is taking place. So this is an internal independent verification issue. And our improvement should be that a supervisor should double check the cashier. Okay. Last one, it says the company accountant makes the bank deposit and then records the day's receipts. Okay. Well, I'll tell you right now, as an accountant, I can tell you in this situation that an accountant should never handle cash. These are related activities, so this is a segregation of duties issue, and our improvement is that the deposits should be made by somebody else. By the Treasury Department in a larger organization, or the cashier's department, depending on on the size of the organization. Okay, so that's it for this one, and we'll move on soon.